Well, hello, and welcome back to the Chamber Vibes podcast. I'm your host, Foster Garrett, Director of Marketing and Events for the Bedford Area Chamber of Commerce. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, welcome. Let me just tell you what's going on. So every week I interview a different chamber member to find out what they do and why they do it. Recorded right here in beautiful Bedford, Virginia, broadcasting on Grove Street FM, and brought to you by Media Squatch. But as always, before we get to the actual podcast, I do want to tell you about some of our upcoming chamber events. I say events, but there's really only one left for the year, and that is our grant writing workshop tomorrow, December 12th, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Bedford Central Library. That's going to be an amazing event. We have like 35 different people from nonprofits and other not-for-profit organizations from around the region. We have people coming from Roanoke, Lynchburg, Franklin County, Bedford, wherever, to come learn from Emily Joseph with GrantFlow and Joanne Miller with Brookhill Farm, both of whom are very experienced grant writers and teach people about grant writing through their work and on the side. Joanne, in particular, has talked both nationally and internationally about grant writing, both to first-time grant writers and to very experienced grant writers. So if this is something you're interested in, if you think your organization or yourself would benefit from knowing more about grants, whether it means finding them, writing for them, managing them, and how to really stand out with your organizational story, especially for competitive grants at the state and federal levels, this is your chance. So go ahead and RSVP for that. It's only $10 for non-members, and it's free for chamber members. So really recommend going online to bedfordareachamber.com to find that event on our full calendar of events. That is the very last piece of programming that we have for 2024. If you're looking ahead, we're going to be releasing our full calendar of events hopefully next week before we go home for the holidays. But we already have some up for the first quarter. The very first two that are in January, we're going to be having a business roundtable on January 22nd with Bedford County and Town of Bedford Economic Development offices. We always partner with them to put on the business roundtables, which we hold 3 times a year. But the very first topic is about the Small Business Development Center, providing an overview of their services and how they can help both entrepreneurs, startups, and existing businesses to expand and to really succeed with all of their free services. So you can go online to find that. And the day after, on January 23rd, we will be having our annual new member showcase, which is how we kick off the new year by celebrating our newest members. So that is an amazing after-hours networking event. We're going to have a cash bar, and it's going to be at the Bauer Center for the Arts. And that'll be from 5:30 to 7 p.m. So come after work, come see us. It's a great time. We had a great turnout last year, and it's a great way to get to know a lot of our new members, welcome them into our community, into our chamber. But as I said earlier, you can find our full calendar of events on bedfordareachamber.com, and I will drop our phone number at the very end, so make sure to listen all the way through. But without further ado, please allow me to introduce today's guests, Jessica Clarkston and Alex Lucas with Member One Federal Credit Union. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having us.
Hi,
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of weird with 2 people sometimes because I'm having to look between you two, and you guys already looking at each other.
Well, we work together every single day, so.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Oh, awesome. Well, you guys work for Member One, which spread throughout Virginia. Do you guys work in the Forest office in Roanoke?
Yeah, so I'm in Lynchburg.
Okay.
So I do business development. I'm kind of all over the place covering the Roanoke area, Lynchburg area. So all over our footprint, which is New River Valley, Franklin County, Roanoke, and Lynchburg.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I actually have an office in Roanoke. So,
Gotcha.
but I also travel all over from Central to Southwest Virginia doing the work that I do. So,
Well, excellent. And thank you guys for braving the weather to come down to Bedford today.
Yeah.
we got it.
It's dumping buckets out there.
Yeah,
I
it
said
is.
beautiful Bedford, Virginia. I didn't really mean it.
It's okay.
Well, you mentioned a little bit about what you do, but tell us a little bit about your backgrounds and then how you became involved with Member One and what you do with them.
Sure. So I've been with Member One since 2013.
Oh, wow.
I started as an assistant vice president of business development, and I've been in business development the whole time. So now I'm the vice president of business development. So what I do is serve our partner companies. We have over 900 in the area.
Wow.
And when I talk about serving these companies, we offer them credit union membership. It sort of puts an umbrella over the whole company where all their employees would be eligible for membership with us. Alex will talk more about this, but a credit union, we still qualify our members for membership based on certain criteria. So that makes all employees eligible, and then they can get special on-site banking, promotions, and then we will definitely go more into the financial education piece that we can offer them as well.
Excellent. Well,
Yeah.
Alex?
And sorry, you were just asking about our background?
Yeah, about your background.
So I've been with Member One now for about 10 years or so. But I'm really not a banker or credit unioner or whatever. My background's mostly in education. So I was a high school and middle school teacher for about 17 years.
Wow.
So I come from a background of just trying to help people that way, and end up at the credit union looking for ways to help in a more impactful way. Kind of came up with the idea that people's money really matters in almost every situation or every problem that they're dealing with, and so we found ways to leverage education toward benefiting people toward financial stability. So that's why I do what I do at the credit union.
It's amazing. And as I told you before we got on air, I think that I'm not super financially literate.
Yeah.
And most people aren't, as you said.
That's right. That's right. In fact, only about half of anybody in the United States had any type of personal finance requirement in their education growing up at all. Mm-hmm. So people either learn it from their parents or from their family or friends or however. I mean, we learn about the rings of Saturn, we learn about cell mitosis and Shakespeare, but we don't really take investment classes or classes about personal finance or making sure your budget's right or how to build your credit, things like that. Mm-hmm. So there's a gap there, and it still exists today. So yeah, that's one of the ways that we find an area where we can help with some needs. So
yeah, I took personal finance as kind of like a pilot program for my school, and I was in 9th grade, and it was all online, and it was done after school. So I didn't have like a class during the day. I would stay there till around 6:30, 7 p.m. doing it. Yeah. And I mean, when I was 14 years old, I did not care about any of that. And learning it online too, it just wasn't. It never really made a lasting impact. So like you said, everything I've learned has been from my parents, it's been from my friends, it's been from YouTube. YouTube is very helpful. Yep. But nobody has ever sat me down and been like, this is how you're going to balance your checkbook.
That's right. And it's very interesting that you would say you're from YouTube, your parents. Well, there's a lot of good information on YouTube. I learn a lot from YouTube too, but also to think about it. Do we really want to trust YouTube to our personal finances? I mean, anybody can have that type of thing. So it's interesting too. You mentioned how you were starting that pilot program, and Virginia for a while now has had a requirement for a personal finance class. However, sometimes those seem a little tacked on, or maybe they're not quite sure about the program yet, and they're still developing it throughout the state and throughout the region. But people find that information when they need it at various sources, and sometimes it's incorrect information. So we're happy to help as we can. We're a large credit union, and so we have a lot of finance people. I'm not personally a finance person. I'm not a tax attorney or a financial advisor or anything like that. But I am a financial counselor, and I know a lot of people like Jessica who are basically financial experts who know how money works. And so we can use that information to try to benefit our community through our credit union.
Yeah, that's amazing. And let's circle back for a second.
Okay.
So the difference between a credit union and a bank. Let's talk about that.
Okay. So a credit union and a bank. So these are two entities. They're financial institutions, and they both have pretty much the same products and services. They offer a place for you to transact money. We're transaction people. So banks are, however, for-profit companies, and a lot of the larger banks are even publicly traded for-profit companies. And so they have responsibility to their stockholders to earn profit, make sure that they are constantly generating that profit. And so they also, because of that, they're usually a lot larger. They usually have more advanced technology because they can invest money in that. They usually have larger assets. So we're talking thousands of times bigger than some of the smaller credit unions, larger banks. Credit unions are usually more community-based, more local, and you have to qualify for membership, as Jessica said. So it's sort of like a club, like a financial co-op or club that you have to qualify for. We're not for profit. And so what we need to do in our business is return our profits to our membership in whatever ways that we can. Sometimes that is lower rates on loans, higher rates on savings products. Sometimes it's community outreach, philanthropy, financial education opportunities. So we give back to the community. They're two different structures of business. They basically do the same thing. Benefits of a bank, like I said, some of those technology advancements, maybe more branches in a lot of places. So you might find them all over the country. Credit unions usually more local, but usually a little bit better deal on some of those loans and savings products.
That is really interesting. I learn something new every time I do this podcast, and it's awesome because I get to share the wealth of information with others. But I think it's been very rewarding to work with people from credit unions at my time during the chamber and with people from banks, and that have the leeway and the ability to be able to spend time giving back to their community with specific people. I mean, both of you, what you do is you try to develop others, like just for the greater good, really.
Yeah.
And I think it's amazing.
Well, I consider it my responsibility and my duty.
Mm-hmm.
Part of why I'm with the credit union is to strengthen people's finance as best as I can. In fact, that's probably why we're all doing this business, to strengthen people's finance. And we take it pretty seriously, and they take it seriously enough to have a salary for us. So we go out to community on purpose to help people learn about some of those basic financial literacy things like you were talking about.
Yeah, that's incredible. Well, let's talk a little bit about Member One. Jessica, when you came on the radio with me was it 2 months ago now? I know, it feels...
I told Alex a few weeks
ago, whenever it was. I got to learn a lot about Member One and some of the transitions that you guys have been having this year in particular.
Sure. So we merged over the summer with Virginia Credit Union, which has been great for us to just grow our footprint. I think now we say we span from Fair Lawn to Fairfax.
That's so cool.
Yeah, moving out to the east and, Charlottesville, the Richmond area, getting to cover more territory, getting to have a lot more branch locations for the convenience of our members. And then, what I talked about earlier was the partner companies that we served. Virginia Credit Union is the state employee credit union. So then that adds to our book of business of companies that we serve, all of the state government, state agencies. So we can serve all of their employees. And some of these state agencies are out our way in the West. I think of like a Lynchburg VDOT department, for example. Now they have all these branches right in their backyard after this merger, which makes it so much more convenient for our members. And then, as far as Alex is concerned with the community impact portion of this, our impact is going to be able to grow so much thanks to the bigger resources.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is really exciting.
It is.
And I know that growing that much too, I think it can be a little intimidating, but it seems like everything is going well with you guys.
I think it's exciting. I whenever I think about it, I think, hey, we can help more people, throughout the state do the same things that we do every day with people in our local area. So I'm super excited about the opportunity.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, you've mentioned business development.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about if somebody was interested in becoming a partner organization. Yeah. You've mentioned some of the benefits that come with that, but what would be the first step?
Sure. It's a very easy process. All we do is we get a letter of request that you're interested. It's nothing contractually binding. It's nothing exclusive that you wouldn't ever work with another financial institution. It's just saying, we would like for Member One, Virginia Credit Union, to serve our employees. And it's very simple. You can find a page on our website under the resources tab under Member One's website. You can reach out to me directly. Jay Clarkson at member1fcu.com. I'm pretty easy to find. If you've got any chamber events or around town, I would be happy to sign you up. But it's a very straightforward, easy process. And then we can give your employees all of these benefits, including the part I get most excited about is the financial education that we can offer.
Yeah.
And Alex, what are some of the things that go into the financial education that you provide, whether it be to employees of partner organizations or just in general?
Well, we help all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds with some basic understanding of financial literacy. So that includes being, yesterday afternoon, I taught an after-school program where the elementary school kids were there.
Oh, that's
we
awesome.
did simple budgeting stuff. Or sometimes I'll go to local jails and talk to people who are in reentry programs, trying to learn a little bit about their finances. When I go to business partners, usually it's about their employees. Not always, but usually about their employees. They have a few minutes. They want to learn a little bit about credit or they just want to think about credit or their budgeting. I often tell people that whatever I teach, they probably already heard before, but just a reminder from somebody can keep us on track. It's sort of like diet and exercise. You have to do it regularly, right? Same thing with about your money. You have to pay attention. So what goes into the financial literacy part of what we do is just offering opportunity for people to think and talk and pay attention to their money. So from people who are going to tell them the truth about money, there's, like I said earlier, there's a lot of, information out there that's maybe not so good, but people who know about money, we see it every day at the credit union, literally tens of thousands of members, hundreds of thousands of members who all of them deal with personal finance issues. And so if we can kind of strengthen people's understanding of the best practices when it comes to things like earning, spending, protecting, borrowing, and saving your money better, then that's what we're here for. So.
Yeah, I think that some of the most productive things that you can do is just talk to people.
Yeah.
And have open conversation, have honest conversation. Woody is listening in currently. We've had a couple different workshops here where we've just talked about marketing.
That's great.
And we've put all our cards on the table. We've been really honest about it. And what always happens is when somebody talks about an issue that they're facing or something that's been on their mind, everybody starts thinking about how we can help each other, how we can help this person, how we can share our own experience and advice and what we've learned through our mistakes.
I love that.
Yeah.
You've just basically described how credit unions should work when it comes to financial literacy. A pooling of resources from our membership gives us the opportunity to some financial products that we have out there, loans and deposits and things like that. But also, there's a pooling of resources in our employees, but also our membership in sharing personal experiences and sharing advice or whatever you want to call it, counseling, to help people strengthen financial stability. And so that is a genuine added benefit to credit unions, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm really curious, what are some of the things that you often, people often speak to you about? What are some of the common issues or things that they are curious about or intimidated by? And what is your advice to them?
Yeah. Well, again, I'm not a financial advisor necessarily, but I am a counselor. And like I said, I've already mentioned a few of them. Common ideas, earning better. So whenever you have any kind of money issue at all, there are really only two things you can do, two levers you can pull to change it. And that's trying to earn more or get more money somehow, have a better income, or spend less. That's, if you think about financial issues, that's really what you can do. And so financial literacy is sort of a variation of all of that throughout any type of topic. So some common topics people share with me often that they want to build their credit because they want to have a big purchase or something like that. Maybe people are striving toward home ownership or, they need a new car or something like that. And maybe their credit's not so good. So we show some ideas about how you might strengthen your credit over time so that whenever you're ready to borrow for a big purchase like that, you can and get a better deal on it. Because if you borrow with a bad deal, you're basically just spending a lot more money than you should. Another common one that I talked to people about yesterday, I talked to a group about some very basic budgeting. Most people, if you didn't know, don't have any kind of spending plan for their lives. Like they might have some old spreadsheet that they put on their computer, 6 years ago, and then they used to do their paycheck that way. But I try to encourage people to actively think about where your money goes. And so we try to offer, here's an example, it's like a simple budgeting plan, like we call it the 50-30-20 rule, where you spend half of your money on your needs, 30% of your money on the things that you want, and 20% of your money on savings or debt repayment. And we kind of walk through that sort of simple structure and try to think about how you can actively make choices about where your money will go, rather than, falling prey to all the marketing and all the what is that called? Instant gratification things out there where you click and buy or you buy now, pay later, or you put a subscription on your account and you forget about it and you haven't watched, Hulu in 10 years or something like that. And so paying attention to your money in a very simple way is budgeting, even if you're not doing a spreadsheet or some sort of Excel. So we hear things like that all the time. And we also hear a lot of things from the public where they've, they thought it was supposed to be this way, but we're, in the real financial world, it's not that way. So we try to help with that as well.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of myth busting with your job.
Absolutely. Yeah, we do. I can give you like an example. Like once I was at a seminar and a man about my age said to me, "Hey, I've been overdrafting my checking account every month, and it's not really building up my credit like it's supposed to." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he said, "Well, somebody told me that if I overdraft my checking account and pay that fee, that over time it will build my credit." And I was like,
"Oh no,
that's terrible. That's not. All this person was basically doing is paying an extra fee that he didn't have to pay because of lack of information about how credit actually works." So it's our duty to try to sort of help with that sort of thing. I'm not sure where he learned that. It was probably from a friend or something like that. But. It's our duty to try to help clear that kind of stuff up, but also, it's I feel like it's a responsibility for all of us to come together and kind of help each other with the truth about money rather than try to sell each other on other things. So,
yeah, and I think money is one of those topics where everybody is scared to like talk about it or ask each other about it.
Why?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's true, but why? Why? Yeah, people don't know, right? Oh, it's such a taboo subject. It's so private. Jessica?
Well, I think that's what we were talking earlier about, things we grew up believing. And I think there was such taboo. You don't talk about money. It's tacky to talk about money. So we still kind of maybe have that where you want to keep it close to the vest and not talk about if you need help, or maybe I think too, when you start talking about mortgages or those type of products, there's so much jargon and things that you think, oh, I should know this by now, but I'm embarrassed to ask. What is an APR?
Yeah.
What are these things? What is equity?
Yeah.
Things that you feel like you should know, but don't necessarily.
Yeah. And so there's almost like a shame around it too. Like because people don't talk about it, because another reason I think people don't talk about it is because everybody wants your money. And so it's like,
that's true.
if you offer that trust with some people, sometimes they take advantage. In fact, a lot of times they take advantage. And so from the biggest things that we try to do is build up trust. So we try to help people understand and believe me or not, I work at the credit union, but I do this for a particular purpose, and that's to strengthen people's finance. And that's why we're in business. That's why we do what we do. And we do it together in order to help people understand the truth. Now, to get people to actually believe that when they've been faced with so many different challenges in the world where people are saying, believe me, this is how you're supposed to do it. And then they end up taking their money or charging them more or something like that. That's a difficult challenge to overcome. So the taboo, the shame, the sort of protectiveness you have to have. I mean, just think about it. Protection is one of the biggest things with your money you have to take care of. How many internet scams do you have during a day? I was teaching a seminar once to a senior center, and during the actual presentation that I was presenting about financial fraud, this lady got 2 texts from scammers.
Oh, wow.
So it's out there. People are trying to take your money and they'll tell you what they want. They want to tell you to get it. So you have to protect and be aware as well. So there's a lot of reasons we don't talk about it. And it's my honor to try to be a part of that solution for that.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think that's a great point that people are really scared, and there are a lot of things out there that are grabbing your attention and doing those things. We get calls from people from all around the region and out of state sometimes about different scams and things that they have encountered with potentially bad business practices and stuff like that. And we've tried to get to help people get their money back by giving them resources to do so. But a lot of times, once you fall prey to that scam, that's it.
Yeah. It's very dangerous. And so, and also too, we're talking about financial stability. If it's your money, it really matters. So you can't just do a lot of do-overs sometimes with that. So it's really, really important. And so that's, I think, a lot of reasons too, where people are very cautious about sharing about their money with anyone. So.
Well, I feel like I've learned a lot during this episode. Do you guys have anything else that you'd like to share, whether it be about Member One or anything that you have on the top of your mind, whether it be about financial education or business development?
No, I just want to put in another plug. It is, I think you can hear Alex's passion for financial education when he talks about it. And I just think the partner company benefit, I don't think I mentioned before, it's a free benefit. And it's just something that we offer for free to your employees.
If there's time on my calendar, I'm going to be there.
Yeah. Whether it's, in any of our service areas, that's a benefit that we offer. We do it in person. And you could hear, I think Alex has mentioned, oh, I was at an elementary school. I was with a senior. I was at a senior's home. I was, all over. And we can tailor those topics. We have at least 10 topics.
More than that, yeah.
More than that. Everything from basic budgeting up to home ownership, protecting yourself from identity theft, whatever your employees are interested in. And we can do that in person. We can do that as a WebEx or Teams or Zoom call.
Sure.
We've done those, a 30-minute time span for a quick lunch, and Alex will come on interactively. We have on our website lots of pre-recorded options. Just like these seminars vary, the type of company that we serve varies so much. It could be a manufacturing company and the shift they work is an odd shift. So a pre-recorded option works well. It just depends. And we're happy to serve in whatever capacity. We're happy to tailor that message to your employees. So I just want to put in a final plug. We'd love to serve your company. You can go on our website and find information about how to join as a partner company, or grab a Member One representative. You come into any of our branches, they can connect you to me as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're here. We're here for the community. Whoever's willing to sort of step up and do that initial trust, we're here for you.
I might have to pick your brain after this.
Happy to.
Just think about our programming next year. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. And if people want to get in touch with you, do you want to drop your email?
Oh, sure. It's just alucas, ALUCAS at member1fcu.com. You can also reach me through our website at member1fcu.com. You can look up the About page. I think it's community. My title is Vice President Community Impact. So,
well, perfect.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. And this is the last episode of the year, and I'm so excited we've ended on a wonderfully high note.
Well, wonderful.
Well, hopefully we can do it again next year.
I hope so.
Hope so.
Well, if you want to learn more about the Chamber, you can call us at 540-586-9401, or you can visit our website, bedfordareachamber.com, for information about our mission and the perks of becoming a member. But also on our website is a full business directory of our membership, which is helpful for finding all sorts of great things in the region, including Member One. But that's all for today. Thanks so much for listening, and keep an ear out for the next Chamber Vibes podcast in 2025.